Hey, what's going on, everyone? Got a quick little message for you tonight, and I just want to ask about whether you care or not when it comes to building the Lord's house. So, some honest questions I want to ask, and you got to ask yourself this. I've asked myself this, and I'll be honest about even my own answers. But first off, do you care about whether the Lord's house gets built or not? Do you care about whether there's missionaries out there or not? Do you care about the souls of people and whether they're going to heaven or hell? Do you care about how many people you've even talked to the gospel about? Do you tithe regularly, 10% of your income? Like clockwork? Do you care whether you do or don't? Do you care about what you're doing with your life? Do you care about what legacy you leave before you die? Like, ultimately, I want to ask an honest question. And I'm, okay, so this is coming from someone who is even, I don't even know what the word is, just full-time. I consider myself a full-time missionary. I'm not saying I'm the greatest. I'm probably, in my opinion, according to myself, I think I'm the worst missionary ever. That's just my own diagnosis of myself, but like, at times, even I don't care the way I need to, and it bothers me. It really does. But that being said, dwelling on something is step one to doing better. So that being said, I want to reference something. In Israel, our ancestors, our Christian ancestors, went through a lot of wars. And then finally, when there was rest on all sides and the land had peace, there was a king named Solomon, and he began building the temple of the Lord. And he starts putting all of his energy into building a temple for God and his spirit to dwell in. Now, we're the temple today. We are. It's not a building anymore, it's the people. But we're still to build God's house even now. So that being said, this is a really big undertaking. But I have a question. If you were called to have to give a ton of your time, a ton of your money, a ton of your resources, like everything, and put it all into building something that there's no return on. You have just lost those things and you never get it back. You never get any of your time back, like nothing. Would you still be willing? Or would you no longer care anymore? Would just seeing the Lord's house being built be enough for you to have contentment in your life if there's no earthly reward out of it? Just yes or no. Ask yourself that question. Like, do you care about whether it's getting built or not? Because at the end of the day, I want to read something from Scripture. The word of the Lord came to Solomon, "As for this temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, observe my laws, and keep all my commands and obey them, I will fulfill through you the promise I gave to David your father, and I will live among the Israelites and will not abandon my people Israel." So Solomon built the temple and completed it. Next, I mean, that's what God said. He's like, if you obey my commands, if you obey my laws, if you do everything that I asked you to, you will succeed at building this temple. You know, it's like, and there were some promises about the legacy of their family, but he didn't say like, once you build this, your life's going to be awesome. No, he said, I will be with my people. And that was a driving factor for Solomon. Next up, it took him 7 years to build it. 7 years of tireless work. And here's one more thing, a big thing. Solomon covered the inside of the temple with pure gold, and he extended gold chains across the front of the inner sanctuary, which was overlaid with gold. So he overlaid the whole interior with gold. He also overlaid with gold the altar that belonged to the inner sanctuary. At the end of the day, are you trying to lay pure gold on everything that belongs to the Lord? I'm not how about your resources, your financial resources, your time, your efforts, the lives of your own children and loved ones? Are you continually giving the Lord your best and seeking like righteousness and holiness and the things that he calls us to biblically? And if the answer is not yes, if the answer is not you feel like you're giving it your 110%, then are you satisfied with that? You know, it's like, do you really, and at the end of the day, completing God's will, building his house, doing all these things, just trying to cover everything of the Lord's in gold, okay? Both literally and metaphorically. You know, do you care about whether you do those things or not? And if not, I cannot encourage enough to read Scripture. Read this for yourself, get alone with the Lord, and let him put that in you. That's my big encouragement. If it's not naturally there, pray for it. Pray for him to change your heart. Spend your time with him daily and in the scriptures and in his word, and ask him to just put within you the desires that need to be there, so that you're prepared to put yourself on the back burner and spend your life building something, whether your reward is in this life or the next to come. So that's just my big encouragement. Love you guys. Like, comment. If you got anything you want to say, throw it in the comments or whatever. And then, of course, hey, visit missionmike.com. There's places you can donate, keep this thing alive. But other than that, it's like, look, I'm praying for you, and just read this. Read this. This is the most valuable thing in your life, okay? This is the word of the Lord. This will get you there. This will make you care even when you don't. So anyways, hey, love you. Talk to you soon.